Coming up, Freeman enforces a vaccine mandate. We'll have the community's reactions to it. And today is Veterans Day, and one county took to celebrating the day a little early. Also, after a fire that destroyed a local mattress factory in the Edna community, it's finally open again for business.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5 a.m. I'm Tanya Bach. We'll get to those stories in just a moment. But first, let's go to Michael Hayslip in the Skywatch Weather Center.
Overnight thunderstorms, now a thing of the past. Going to shape up to be a beautiful Veterans Day. A whole bunch of sunshine. For any of you that have parades, ceremonies, activities planned, enjoy it. And a big thank you to all of you who have served and are currently serving. The Skywatch storm tracker with just a little light cloud cover hanging on to southwest Missouri right there, but all the rain, it is now just about over the Mississippi. So it's nothing on the back of it. We are clear and good to go. Beautiful Thursday morning skies from 7th and Rangeline. 47 degrees is where we stand. A little bit of a wind chill in effect now that the wind has shifted in from the northwest. Only feels like it's 43. So considerably cooler than what we've had the past couple of days. Still clinging to 150 on the board. That's out in Cassville. 48 in Miami, 45 right now in Chanute. Nationally speaking, it's a pretty good line of rain right there. Stretches from Texas all the way up to the Canadian border, with the trough of the jet stream now squarely over northern Missouri and into Iowa. As we progress through our Veterans Day, highs around 59 degrees. We are going to see a west wind pick up a little bit, 10 to 15 miles per hour. And our next shot of rain will be tomorrow morning. Now, it'll be nothing like what we had overnight. Won't pack the wind or the lightning or the thunder. Kind of sweeps in there from northwest down to southeast and really gone by early Friday morning. Tell you what, though, you got Friday night plans. Hey, it's going to be chilly. We're going to be talking about wind chills that are easily going to be in the 30s by the time the sun goes down, dropping down below the freezing mark eventually in between Friday night and Saturday morning.
All right, well, get ready for the cold.
It's coming. Today's going to be gorgeous. I'm glad we got that out. If you had Thursday or if you had Wednesday afternoon plans and evening, my apologies, but I'm glad we got it out for Veterans Day.
Can I say it, though? You said the cold's coming.
It's November.
Winter is coming.
Scorpio season.
There you go. Well, if you are a customer of the Joplin wastewater system, prepare to pay more. The city will raise its rate by 5% starting January 1st. A rate study conducted last year recommended the increase. The Joplin Health Department is trying an incentive to get more people vaccinated. The department is using funds from the Missouri Department of Health and Senior Services to offer gift cards to some folks who get a COVID-19 shot. People who get their first dose of a COVID-19 vaccine will receive a $50 Visa gift card. And then when they return for a second dose, they'll receive another $50 gift card. The incentive program kicks off today with a clinic at the health department that runs from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Freeman Health System announces a vaccine mandate for its employees. The announcement came at yesterday's media briefing. The mandate is a result of guidelines from the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, or CMS. In a news release, CMS says the Biden administration is requiring COVID vaccination of eligible staff at healthcare facilities that participate in Medicare and Medicaid programs. Freeman did not have a mandate in place and had been leaving the decision to get vaccinated to its employees.
Because our employees were so proactive in taking the initiative to do that themselves. However, CMS has now issued a ruling that says we must mandate it. So that's why we're doing it, and that every employee will need to be vaccinated by January the 4th.
Baker says there are exemption options that employees can file for, including those for medical and religious reasons. Veterans Day is today, but Newton County decided to honor our nation's heroes early. The county hosted an event at the county courthouse in Neosho. David Osborne served as guest speaker. He's a retired Army National Guard sergeant and current county commissioner.
And just enjoy Veterans Day as it comes up tomorrow. Go out and tell the veteran thank you for his service and what he does. And just enjoy that day and recognize your veterans and your family and in your friends and around the community.
All area veterans and their families were invited to attend the event. The Edna mattress factory in Edna, Kansas is open again after a fire destroyed the factory back in June. No one was hurt and the nearby retail facility was spared. Company president was miles away when he got the call that the factory was burning.
From about 10 miles, I could see the smoke, and man, my heart just sunk, because I thought, oh my God. But the good news is we saved the south 2 buildings and able to, reload and get new equipment and start over.
The mattress factory is a longtime fixture in Edna. Hildebrand says he's been there close to 40 years. Community Foundation of Southeast Kansas celebrated all the grants they handed out this year. The foundation provides funds for charitable projects in Southeast Kansas. At their annual grant celebration, officials announced they handed out more than $232,000 in grants this year.
It's always incredible to hear the individual stories on what each one of these grants has done to help individuals in our community. When it has a personal touch and that's affecting lives in a very deep manner, it's rewarding to hear that money has gone to a very good cause.
Foundation also plans to match $47,000 in funds on November 30th for Match Day. An organization is trying to create more affordable transportation in Southwest Missouri. Healthy Nevada created the Rides to Health and Wealth Project, volunteer-led transportation network. Officials say the goal of the project is to provide more transportation opportunities in rural areas.
I just can't say enough that the transportation services we do have are at capacity, and so this is to build more access. And we like to use the adage that you can teach a man to fish and he'll eat forever, but the question is, does he have access to the pond?
The Healthy Nevada Innovation Center is located at 212 West Walnut Street. It's 5:07.
I had a couple storm reports checking out that are coming in right now. I had some limbs down in Labette County. Had hail, about 9/10 of an inch out in Montgomery County. We're done with it now. No more thunderstorm activity for today. Our Veterans Day going to feed us plenty of sunshine. Work up around 59, 60 degrees. A little wind will shift, come in from the west, and will do so at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Gust around 25 miles per hour. A little light, scattered early morning Friday rain, early. Hopefully the majority of you are sleeping. And then Friday night into Saturday, back down by the freezing mark.
A look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes. Coming up on the KOAM Morning News. Yesterday marked National Signing Day, and athletes from around the area made their college commitments known. Plus, we'll meet a World War II veteran who might just be the oldest mayor in America. And on the observation of Veterans Day, we look at the challenges female veterans face that can increase their risk of cardiovascular disease. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. More real news in the morning. We'll be right back.
Signing day for a number of high school athletes yesterday. Plenty of 4-state ones that happened. We're going to start in Girard. A pair of seniors signing to play with Pittsburgh State. Kinley Smith. She's going to join the Pitt State track and field program, competing in the triple jump for the Gorillas. And Olivia Cullen. She is headed to Pitt State to play volleyball. Cullen, a unanimous first-team all-conference selection this fall for the Trojans.
I grew up around Pittsburgh, so it's really great to stay here and then stay in the community. And it's a really great school, and I just like it a lot. I like the team aspect, and I love the coaches.
I always knew I wanted to do track, and so just to receive an offer in general was super exciting for me, and it meant a lot. And then going and seeing their program just made my decision.
I am getting to that age where I have coached these kids that are now signing to play at college. Liv Cullen, you know the Hayslip family adores you. In Webb City, big signing is 7 seniors from Webb include Peyton Hawkins and Emma Welch. They're all-state softball players. Welch going to Labette County. Hawkins, she's now a Missouri Southern Lion.
Playing in state, I've faced people that are going D1, so nothing I'm going to face in college is I'm not going to be like, oh, I haven't seen this before. I'm going to see everything.
Coach Phillips and Coach A, they were just very welcoming, and they were very honest and down to earth, and the girls were very nice. They answered all my questions, and I felt there, I went through and it just felt like home.
On to Joplin High School, 4 seniors signing, continuing their careers at the college level. Girls basketball player Emma Floyd. She is headed to play for William Woods University. Allie Lawrence, she's going to play 2 sports. Lawrence signed up for track and volleyball at the University of Health Sciences Pharmacy in St. Louis. And Ethan Guilford, he is going to play baseball with the hometown Missouri Southern Lions.
Any way that I can make an impact, any way that they want to use me, if that's as a starter or a reliever, any way that they want to use me, and any way I can help the team win is what I'm there to do.
The campus was so homey, and I met with the coaches, and they were awesome. And then I got to meet some of the team. I actually knew 2 of the players. Like, it was just a perfect fit, honestly.
This week, the final week of football season for the Missouri Southern Lions, wrapping up their schedule on Saturday, hitting the road to face Washburn. Lions 3-7 headed into the final game. Last week, dropped the home finale to Northwest Missouri State 49-7. On the other side, Washburn 8-2 in second place in the MIAA. Now for Southern, it's a chance to not only send the seniors out on a high note, but to take a little momentum into their first full offseason under new head coach Atiba Bradley.
I think it can definitely give you a bolster going in, but you know, at the same time, it's not like whatever happens on Saturday is going to erase what happened on the season. There are some things that happened this season that really have ignited our young guys and our young core to be very excited about the future, and so this would just be one more feather in the cap to really get us going.
Finally, Missouri Southern holding a dedication for its new Rasmussen baseball and softball practice facility. Get this, 6,500 square feet. Named after Dick and April Rasmussen, recognizing them as the lead gift support for this project. Entirely funded by private donors, including baseball and softball alumni, several other individuals and businesses.
We will be using it for pitcher bullpens. We hit in there all the time. We'll do infield ground balls. It's big enough to actually for us to have a shallow infield, so an infield that's in on slapper D or something like that. So we'll use it for all skills on our team.
Still to come, we meet a team from Pittsburgh State who's trying to tackle cancer in a different way. And a check on our 7-day forecast when the KOAM Morning News returns. 5:17 on this Veterans Day. Roll some weather on the 7s, and from all of us here at KOAM, a huge thank you for all of you who have served our country in the past, currently serving now. A thank you does not seem like it is certainly enough, but please know that it is a sincere thank you that comes from the bottom of all our hearts here at the station. Our daily almanac on this November 11th, average high of 60 degrees. That's exactly about where we'll be today. We've just been abnormally warm really to start our work week. Now we're going to get back down a little seasonable temps. Picked up just about 0.43 inches of rain yesterday at Joplin Regional Airport from our thunderstorm activity. Started yesterday with 0.07. So 0.43, actually the magic number. We'll get to our precipitation totals here in just a bit. Skywatch Storm Tracker, though, showing all those thunderstorms. They have now moved out way to the west. We've got nothing but clear skies. Great shot of the stars on this Thursday morning. 47 degrees right now over Joplin. The northwest wind does put a little bit of a wind chill in there. Feels about like it's 43. 50 in Cassville, 45 in Chanute, 46 in Pittsburgh, and Miami hangs at 48. Overnight, here's what happened in case you slept through it with the thunder and lightning. It was kind of hard to sleep through it. Rolled through, lasted just till about, say about 1:30. And now this thing's moving fast. Look at that, already making it to the east of the Mississippi. Here's a look at our rain totals. We really did hit anywhere from about quarter to just more than an inch of rain, and certainly our streams, our soils, our rivers able to absorb all that. We do not have any difficulties flooding. We do have some storm reports to talk about, though. We had some limbs down in Labette County. We picked up a little bout of hail, about 9/10 of an inch there in Montgomery County, and had a report coming out of the northwest. That's just 1.5 inches of rain after it rolled through. So be careful out and about, because I did notice this morning on the way in, with it being so dark, that you are going to find some probably limbs down in your neighborhood. Trough of the jet stream, at one point in time, it was hanging about right here yesterday. Good northeasterly movement up there in northern Missouri and in Iowa. It's going to push that system out to the east and really give us a bunch of high pressure, but also cooler temps coming out from the west on the other side of the Rockies. Once again, a beautiful Veterans Day, and don't forget, if you have a veteran in your life that you'd like to celebrate, or if you need to update some information, please take part in our 4-State Heroes program. It's easy enough to find. KOAMnewsnow.com. It's a way for all of us here in the 4 states to thank those who have served our nation. Sunny skies today. Wind will eventually go from northwest to the west, 10 to 15 miles per hour, gust about 25 miles per hour. But really don't have to worry about any rain until we get into, say Friday morning. And it's going to be early and certainly nothing like what we had overnight. It's going to be scattered, pretty quick hitting and light. Look at this though, Friday into Saturday. That's going to be the cold one. See some freeze warnings and frost advisories pop up for sure. Time now to turn our attention to the KOAM News Now Facebook page and our morning Insta poll. A 97-year-old World War II veteran won re-election as mayor last week, beat out 2 opponents to win another 4-year term. From Tinton Falls, New Jersey, we're proud to introduce Mayor Vito Perillo.
September 22nd was my birthday. I was 97. And Wednesday, I was still 97. So it's just another day to me.
World War II veteran, retired Department of Defense engineer, retired CPA, great-grandfather, nonagenarian, and mayor. An impressive resume for someone who refuses to spend his 90s relaxing.
It's another job for me. You know, I retired 3 or 4 times. Every time I retired, I couldn't stay home. And I look in the paper, and a job wanted for this, and I'd apply and I'd get the job.
At 97, Parole may be the nation's oldest mayor, and he says his accomplishments in his first term landed him re-election. The new Wardell Park, home of these busy pickleball courts, even on a frosty November morning, opened in June. One of the mayor's proudest achievements.
So this one woman, I'll never forget, she said she was in an automobile accident and had a little brain injury. And when she found out about the court, the pickle court, she went out there to play. You know, she enjoyed playing. Not only that, she got out of her doldrums, like she was always in the house and therapy and whatnot. And she got to meet people. She made friends with people. And it changed her life 180 degrees.
Our question for you this morning is, how do you observe Veterans Day? We've got 4 different options for you there. Either connect to us via the Facebook page or go straight to the poll, koamnewsnow.com/vote. And remember, KOAM News Now, also where you can find more information on all of our 4 state heroes. We'll be back with Health Watch right after this.
Topping Health Watch this morning, as we mark Veterans Day, the American Heart Association is raising awareness about the challenges female veterans face that it can increase their cardiovascular disease risk. Elise Preston has one veteran story.
Returning home after deployment was difficult for Army veteran Danny Aylesworth.
I came back and didn't treat my PTSD, nor did I even realize that I had PTSD. Without the coping skills, I turned to alcohol.
In addition, a life-threatening infection caused heart failure and left the young mother in need of a transplant.
I ultimately got denied because I didn't seek help for my PTSD and I continued to drink. I definitely engaged in lifestyle choices that directly contributed to keeping me in heart failure.
The American Heart Association and the Veterans Healthcare Administration are raising awareness about the cardiovascular disease risks female veterans face.
Women veterans compared to non-veteran women, actually have higher rates of some traditional risk factors for heart disease, such as hypertension, diabetes, obesity.
Dr. Sally Haskell says female veterans also have higher rates of depression and anxiety.
Those conditions impact the brain and the body, but also some coping mechanisms, smoking or having substance abuse issues or not being able to manage their weight, and those things can increase their cardiovascular risk.
In 2018, Aylesworth had an internal defibrillator implanted, which detected 2 cardiac arrests while she slept. She eventually got the help she needed, including trauma therapy.
Really focused on that PTSD and the trauma that I had encountered that I had been avoiding.
Aylesworth has been sober for nearly 2 years, and along with diet, exercise, and meditation, she's keeping her heart healthy. Elise Preston, CBS News, New York.
Doctors say women veterans should check in with their healthcare providers to identify and manage their risk factors as early as possible. A team of researchers at Pitt State are working on a new way to treat cancer patients by changing the way that cancer-killing treatment is delivered to cells. KOAM's Bronte Sorotsky spoke with the research team, which includes 3 brothers and their professor, who are working on the next steps of this research.
Dr. Santi Sandra has been doing research on new ways to deliver life-saving drugs to cancer patients' bodies for the last 7 years. He explains how this method differs from regular chemotherapy.
It goes everywhere in your body. So it goes to your tumor, it kills, but at the same time it goes to your healthy organ, like heart, lung, all this. So that we don't want. We want our anti-cancer drug to be delivered to the tumor only. That is the main purpose of the project.
His research team uses a polymer, a substance consisting of large molecules which plays an essential role in everyday life.
It's a polymer that you can wrap around these drugs, and we tag it with certain molecules, and that sends it directly to the cancer cells without harming other cells.
Dr. Santra does this with the help of Adam, Caleb, and Paul Worsley, 3 brothers at Pittsburgh State. Paul is the lead researcher for the project and says right now the team is focused on growing their own cancer cells to see how well their polymer kills those cells.
We'll make our polymer, load it with drugs, and then we'll put the little receptors on the polymer, and we'll grow our cancer cells and see how well it kills our cancer cells. And then based off those results, we can do more studies.
Paul's twin brothers are only freshmen, but have been working on this research since summer.
I get to come in every day while also learning, so I have experience. That's very helpful for us. I think it's good practice for my career. People in my family have cancer, and it'd be a wonderful thing if we could actually cure it.
In Pittsburgh, Bronte Sorotsky, KUAM News.
To learn more about the work that Dr. Santra and his students are currently working, we'll have a link on our website at KUAMnewsnow.com. That's a look at some of today's top health stories. You're watching the KUAM Morning News.
We're sitting anywhere in between 41 and 50 degrees, so considerably cooler this morning now that the thunderstorm activity has pushed off, but actually it's going to be quite seasonable on this Veterans Day. A whole lot of sunshine. Wind shifts eventually comes in from the west, 10 to 15 miles per hour, gusting up to 25 miles per hour with highs around 60 degrees. After a beautiful looking Thursday, Friday morning, early Friday morning, brings us brief scattered rain that rolls in mainly for the southern portion of the 4 states. Done with it really by the time anybody needs to get on the road. Watch out for the cold temps Friday night into Saturday morning.
Coming up, Freeman enforces a vaccine mandate. We'll have the community's reaction to it. And today is Veterans Day. One county took to celebrating the day a little early. Also, after a fire that destroyed a local mattress factory in the Edna community, it's finally open again for business.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KUAM Morning News. It is 5:30. I'm Tanya Bach. We'll get to those stories in just a moment, but first, let's go to Michael Hayslip in the Skywatch Weather Center.
November skies just as clear as they could be. That also means cooler temperatures than what we had to begin our work week as we take a live look over 7th and Rangeline in Joplin. We'll top out around 60 degrees on this Veterans Day, which, look at that, is exactly where we should be when it comes to November 11th. All the rain now has moved out, way far out to the east, just about departing the state of Missouri as a whole, as a matter of fact, where we sit at 47 right now in Joplin, and a little bit of a wind chill in effect. So up to the north there, it actually feels like it's in the high 30s. Still holding on to a 50 in Cassville, 48 in Neosho, and Miami at 49. So it certainly could be worse, and trust me, by the time we get to Friday night, Saturday morning, it is going to be a whole lot colder. There's a look at what happened overnight in case you missed it. We ended up with anywhere from quarter to just more than an inch of rain. No flooding concerns. Our grounds and rivers able to absorb everything, and the line moving from Texas up the Mississippi. Look, it's just riding a river right now. Takes it all the way up to the Canadian border. Beautiful Veterans Day, and thank you to all of you who have served or are currently serving in our armed forces to keep us safe, as we'll be around 60 degrees with a whole lot of sunshine. Later tonight into early Friday morning, a little rain drops in, does so from the northwest down to the southeast, mainly southern portion of the 4 states. Certainly not as widespread as what we had yesterday. And then we get ready for a Friday night. Bundle up if you've got Friday night plans, because wind chill's going to be in the 30s for most of the evening before we even get below the freezing mark, and we're anticipating that early Saturday morning.
All right. Well, it's going to be cold, and we've been warning you to prepare.
Multiple layers out there Friday night, folks.
Yeah, for sure. Well, if you are a customer of the Joplin wastewater system, prepare to pay more. The city will raise its rate by 5% starting January 1st. Rate study conducted last year recommended the increase. Joplin Health Department is trying an incentive to get more people vaccinated. The department is using funds from the Missouri Department of Health and Senior Services to offer gift cards to some folks who get a COVID-19 shot. People who get their first dose of a COVID-19 vaccine will receive a $50 Visa gift card. And then when they return for a second dose, they'll receive another $50 gift card. The incentive program kicks off today with a clinic at the health department that runs from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Veterans Day is today, but Newton County decided to honor our nation's heroes early. The county hosted an event at the county courthouse in Neosho. David Osborne served as guest speaker. He's a retired Army National Guard sergeant and current county commissioner.
And just enjoy Veterans Day as it comes up tomorrow. Go out and tell the veteran thank you for his service and what he does. And just enjoy that day and recognize your veterans and your family and in your friends and around the community.
Area veterans and their families were invited to attend the event. The Edna Mattress Factory in Edna, Kansas is open again. After a fire destroyed the factory back in June, no one was hurt and the nearby retail facility was spared. Company president was miles away when he got the call that the factory was burning.
From about 10 miles I could see the smoke and my heart just sunk, because I thought, oh my God. But the good news is we saved the south two buildings and able to, reload and get new equipment and start over.
Mattress Factory is a longtime fixture in Edna. Hildebrand says he's been there close to 40 years. Freeman Health System announced a vaccine mandate for its employees, citing a ruling from a government agency. KOAM's Chris Warner has more.
The mandate is a result of guidelines from the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, or CMS. In a news release, CMS says the Biden administration is requiring COVID vaccination of eligible staff at healthcare facilities that participate in Medicare and Medicaid programs. Freeman CEO Paula Baker says the health system did not have a mandate in place and had been leaving the decision to get vaccinated to its employees.
Freeman Health System previously had not mandated the vaccine for our employees because our employees were so proactive in taking the initiative to do that themselves. However, CMS has now issued a ruling that says we must mandate it. So that's why we're doing it, and that every employee will need to be vaccinated by January the 4th.
Baker says the ruling will affect healthcare facilities beyond just Freeman.
Since all healthcare facilities are going to be held to the same standard, if an employee wanted to remain in healthcare, they really wouldn't have an option to go other places because that'll be consistent. I think that employees understand that this is a federal ruling, and there is that option for the declination if they meet the criteria for a medical or religious exemption.
Last week, Missouri Senator Josh Hawley joined 38 of his Republican colleagues in formally moving to disapprove and nullify President Biden's vaccine mandate on private employers. In regards to that specific mandate, Senator Hawley called the president's vaccine mandate, quote, unconstitutional, saying that it infringed on the rights of American citizens. Senator Hawley said of the mandate, quote, it unlawfully bypasses established regulatory procedures. Congress, not the president, has the authority to make law. In Joplin, Chris Warner, KOAM News.
In the regulation from CMS, healthcare workers have until December 6th to receive the first dose of a vaccine and until January 4th to be fully vaccinated. That's a look at our top news stories. Coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News, we've got an exclusive interview with two performers from Joplin High School who want to invite the public to a musical this Saturday. Details to come. But first, the Blade Runner Oscar Pistorius gets a chance at parole. But first, must sit down with parents of his murdered girlfriend. But first, it's 5:37.
Coincidentally enough, Tanya, doing a story on Oscar Pistorius there and being South African, some breaking news coming out this morning from an international perspective. You can pop me up, Dylan. I'm good to go. Former South African President F.W. de Klerk died this morning at the age of, 85. In 1993, he shared the Nobel Peace Prize with one Nelson Mandela. He's the one that released Mandela from his decades-long political imprisonment. So once again, former South African President F.W. de Klerk died this morning at the age of 85. Be back with World Watch right after this.
Topping World Watch, Oscar Pistorius, who used a pair of prosthetic legs to become one of the world's fastest runners, has spent more than 6 years behind bars after killing his girlfriend. And now the South African is up for parole, and he could be released. But first, he has to convince his victim's parents that he is sorry. Deborah Patta reports on the upcoming confrontation that is required by law.
Dubbed the Blade Runner, Oscar Pistorius was the golden boy of the Olympics until the night he killed his girlfriend, model and law graduate Riva Steenkamp in 2013. Pistorius shot Steenkamp through a locked bathroom door, claiming it was an accident, that he had fired his gun, believing an intruder had broken into his home. The prosecution argued he was a cold-blooded killer who shot Steenkamp after an argument. Pistorius was sentenced to 13 years behind bars for murder. Now, having served half his time, the 34-year-old is eligible for parole. But first, Pistorius has to look Steenkamp's parents in the eye in a mediated dialogue, a process known in South Africa as restorative justice.
Oscar has to accept responsibility for his act. He has to apologize. That apology has to be accepted by the Steenkamps, but it's a great example of where restorative justice is bringing about reconciliation rather than retribution.
The trial became a national obsession, played out in the glare of the global spotlight. Pistorius sobbed and retched his way through his testimony as he described the night he killed his girlfriend.
Why are you getting emotional now?
I did not fire at Riva.
While Riva's father, Barry Steenkamp, demanded justice.
Oscar has to pay for what he did. He has to pay for it.
Facing down their daughter's killer is a distressing prospect for the Steenkamps, but their lawyer says they have indicated they're prepared to meet with him.
It's of enormous significance. The parole board will be guided fundamentally by what June and Barry Steenkamp say.
According to their lawyer, Steenkamp's mother June has forgiven Pistorius, but her father still has many questions for him. Deborah Patta, CBS News, Johannesburg, South Africa.
Let's look at some of your biggest headlines from around the world. Let's toss it over to Michael for something to talk about.
Thank you, Tanya. This morning on the KOM News Now Facebook page and our morning Insta poll, I want you to meet Mayor Vito Perillo. He's a World War II veteran, and last week in Teton Falls, New Jersey, he was re-elected as the mayor. Mayor Perillo, the Honorable, is 97 years old. And those are just a couple of things on his resume. Add that to retired Department of Defense engineer, retired CPA. He's a great grandfather, a life of service in one form or another. And, we wanted to introduce you to him on this Veterans Day. Our question to you specifically on the poll is, how will you observe Veterans Day? Gave you 4 options right there. Other being number 1 right now. I know there's a number of parades, ceremonies, and other ways to honor the veterans. And from all of us here at KOM, a big thank you from the bottom of our hearts. Remember, while you're at KOMnews.com, a perfect opportunity to recognize perhaps a veteran in your family and make them one of our 4 state heroes so we can celebrate their service to our country each and every day. We take time to do that during each of our news shows. You can either connect to us via our Facebook page or go to komnewsnow.com/vote. We'll be back with the news you need to know before you head out the door right after this.
Here's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. Veterans Day is today, but Newton County decided to honor our nation's heroes early. The county hosted an event at the county courthouse in Neosho. David Osborne served as guest speaker. He's a retired Army National Guard sergeant and current county commissioner. The Edna Mattress Factory in Edna, Kansas is open again after a fire destroyed the factory back in June. No one was hurt and the nearby retail facility was spared. The company president was miles away when he got the call that the factory was burning. Community Foundation of Southeast Kansas celebrates all the grants they handed out this year. Foundation provides funds for charitable projects in Southeast Kansas. At their annual grant celebration, officials announced they handed out more than $232,000 in grants this year. An organization is trying to create more affordable transportation in Southwest Missouri. Healthy Nevada created the Rides to Health and Wealth Project, a volunteer-led transportation network. Officials say the goal of the project is to provide more transportation opportunities in rural areas. That's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door.
Lost our lone 50 on the board. Cassville slipped down to 49, so we're anywhere in between 41 and 49. Cooler temps than what we've had past couple of days to start our week, but we were abnormally warm as well, so this is about where we should be. The Skywatch storm tracker, the cloud cover moving off to the east of Southwest Missouri. The rain, that's a thing of the distant past. It's already on to the Mississippi River. Look at how this thing just rides the river all the way up to the Canadian border right there. Nothing but clear skies and sunshine after it begins to rise later on this morning. And that's going to put us for a beautiful Veterans Day around 60 degrees. Very seasonable for this time of year, really right on par for where we should be. And then as we push into early Friday morning, well, we're going to see a little rain sprint through, mainly for the southern portion of the 4 states. Certainly not anything like what we had yesterday. And then we sit back and get ready for a shot of November cold. Look at Friday night into Saturday morning as we drop down below the freezing mark. We'll be right back. Got a special interview, a reunion of sorts as we get ready for a Joplin High School musical. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. One of the things that's always amazed me about living in the 4-state area is the talented thespians that we have, whether it be community theater, whether it be our wonderful college programs, and certainly our high school students with their drama departments. They're just absolutely amazing. And we've actually got a little bit of a combination this morning. Sophie Stovall, who's a junior at Missouri Southern, is on your left. Paisley Franks, they're a senior at Joplin High School, is on your right. And Sophie and Paisley, I want to thank you so much for your time this morning, because we've got everybody loves a musical, right? All right, so you've got an event coming up here next week called All Together Now. I'm going to let you explain. Tell you what, Paisley, I'll start with you, and Sophie, I'll come back to you. Paisley, if you can kind of talk about the importance of how this brings a whole bunch of factions together.
Right, so our All Together musical review that we're doing right now is bringing in some Joplin High School alumni and bringing us together with the high school students that are currently here, just to have like a little concert together to make money for our department since COVID had hit and we lost a lot of money from that.
And I tell you, that's a great point. Sometimes we forget. A year ago, we couldn't go out and see events. That's why this is so nice to be able to put it together. So Sophie, are you returning to where you formulated your dramatic roots?
I am. I'm so happy and so honored to have been asked to come back to Joplin High School and perform with some of my friends who have graduated and some of my friends that are still here. Yeah, my love of theater grew into what it is today here in this department, and I'm just so happy that I get to help fundraise and raise money for the department that made me who I am.
Paisley and Sophie too, because you're not too far removed from going to Joplin High School, but Paisley, as a current student who's honing her skills in the drama department, what does it mean for you and your group that people like Sophie and other alumni are taking the time to come back, number one, enjoy a performance of All Together Now, but also to do this to make sure that the drama department is sustainable for future generations?
It means a lot to all of us over here. I mean, it's definitely getting all of these people to actually come back. It really shows how much they liked our theater department over here. And so it means a lot to us, especially for them, because it's like a lot of time commitment into it. So we really appreciate it.
And folks, I want to reiterate there what Paisley was saying, because not only is it a great fundraiser, but remember, let's take the opportunity and go see all our talented performers now that we're allowed to go back to live events. So the musical review All Together Now, I'll let one of you give us the particulars about how we get our tickets and when we need to show up.
Right, okay, so
Sophie, I think Paisley's going to handle this one.
Go ahead. Our performance is on Saturday, this upcoming Saturday. It's at 7 p.m. It's only $5 to get in, and you can get the tickets either online at the link in our Facebook or in our Instagram bio, or you can get them at the door.
And once again, it's called All Together Now. And $5, that's it? Okay, folks, you're not going to find better entertainment on a weekend than that, and you're not going to find more talented performers than what they're going to have out there. Sophie Stovall, a junior at Missouri Southern, Paisley Frank, senior at Joplin High School. I want to thank you both so much for your time this morning.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
All right, as I always like to tell our wonderful performers who come on, you do me a favor when Saturday rolls around, break a leg.
Thank you. Thanks.
We'll be back with more KOM Morning News right after this. 5:57 gives me a good excuse for a little weather on the 7s. 45 is where we stand right now over 7th and Rangeline in Joplin. We do have a little wind chill in effect, so even up here to the north, going to feel about like it's in the 30s, but the thunderstorm activity, a thing of the past as it rolled through overnight, did present us with anywhere from about 1/10 to 1 1/4 inches. So luckily the ground and the rivers and everything able to absorb all that. A couple storm reports coming in. Even had some hail in Montgomery County and limbs down in Labette County from the high winds, but now everything pushing just about on the Mississippi River. A hearty thank you from all of us here at KOAM for those of you serving in the military, or those of you who have served on this Veterans Day. That's going to be a gorgeous afternoon. Sunny skies up around 60 degrees. As we transition to the 7-day forecast, we're looking at temperatures that are going to be a little bit cooler on Friday, and then look at Friday night into Saturday below the freezing mark. Back right after this.
Coming up, Freeman enforces a vaccine mandate. We'll have the community's reactions to it. And today is Veterans Day, and one county took to celebrating the day a little early. Also, after a fire that destroyed a local mattress factory in the Edna community, it's finally open again for business.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It is 6 a.m. I'm Tanya Bach. We'll get to those stories in just a moment, but first, let's go to Michael Hayslip.
Look at the cloud cover, the lack of cloud cover. Starting finally to see just a little light there on the horizon. That's a live look outside of Television City, and from 7th and Rangeline, we sit at a cool 45 degrees. Temperatures are anywhere from about 41 to 49 right now. The big difference is our wind has shifted, and instead of coming in from the south, now moving in from the north-northwest. The thunderstorm activity from overnight, a thing of the distant past, though. And now that the clouds have gone with the thunderstorms, let's see how low we get. 36s up to the north in Iola, Fort Scott, Yates Center, Cassville. It's interesting in Cassville. I'm going to pick on Cassville a little bit, home of John Cross, Wildcat Pride. Cassville was at 50 degrees earlier this morning, the lone 50 on the board. Now, wind chill-wise, down to 37. Well, kiddos going to want coats there as they take off. Look at that. Look at that line. Just ride the Mississippi River right now. All that rain, that's something else. A happy Veterans Day and a hearty thank you to all of you who have served and are currently serving from us here at KOAM. Up around 60 degrees with sunny skies, very seasonable temperatures, a little bit blustery out of the west, gust up to 25 miles per hour. Overnight, a little shot of rain. Nothing like what we had last night, though. We'll be void of any thunder and lightning with that. And mainly, there you can see it riding south along I-44. And then Friday, we're going to clear out. But I'll tell you what else is going to happen on Friday night in particular. You think those wind chills are a little bit chilly right now? For those of you that may have Friday evening plans, even before the sun goes down, we're going to be talking about it feeling like the low 30s, actual temperatures dipping below the freezing mark.
Yeah.
Somebody made the comment yesterday, so maybe I should bring the plants in.
You probably should have already done that.
Folks, we've been harping on this since the beginning of the month.
Yeah. If they're still doing well outside, yes, bring them in.
Right. If they made it through our first frost advisories and freeze warnings from a week and a half ago.
Hey, if they have, let me know what kind of plants these are, because I have the worst luck with plants, so maybe I need to have this variety.
I am not a botanist, and I know better when people start talking about plants. I don't even open my mouth. I don't even smile and nod.
You just say bring them inside.
I'm just like, bring them inside.
Mm-hmm.
Bring them inside.
All right, thanks, Michael. Well, if you're a customer of the Joplin wastewater system, prepare to pay more. The city will raise its rate by 5% starting January 1st. A rate study conducted last year recommended the increase. Joplin Health Department is trying an incentive to get more people vaccinated. The department is using funds from the Missouri Department of Health and Senior Services to offer gift cards to some folks who get a COVID-19 shot. People who get their first dose of a COVID-19 vaccine will receive a $50 Visa gift card. And then when they return for a second dose, they'll receive another $50 gift card. The incentive program kicks off today with a clinic at the health department that runs from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Freeman Health System announces a vaccine mandate for its employees. The announcement came at yesterday's media briefing. Mandate is a result of guidelines from the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, or CMS. In a news release, CMS says the Biden administration is requiring COVID vaccination of eligible staff at healthcare facilities that participate in Medicare and Medicaid programs. Freeman did not have a mandate in place and had been leaving the decision to get vaccinated to its employees.
Because our employees were so proactive in taking the initiative to do that themselves. However, CMS has now issued a ruling that says we must mandate it. So that's why we're doing it, and that every employee will need to be vaccinated by January the 4th.
Baker says there are exemption options that employees can file for, including those for medical and religious reasons. Veterans Day is today, but Newton County decided to honor our nation's heroes early. The county hosted an event at the county courthouse in Neosho. David Osborne served as guest speaker. He's a retired Army National Guard sergeant and current county commissioner.
And just enjoy Veterans Day as it comes up tomorrow. Go out and tell a veteran thank you for his service and what he does. And just enjoy that day and recognize your veterans in your family and in your friends and around the community.
All area veterans and their families were invited to attend the event. The Edna Mattress Factory in Edna, Kansas is open again after a fire destroyed the factory back in June. No one was hurt and the nearby retail facility was spared. The company president was miles away when he got the call that the factory was burning.
From about 10 miles I could see the smoke and my heart just sunk, because I thought, oh my God. But the good news is we saved the south two buildings and able to, reload and get new equipment and start over.
Mattress Factory is a longtime fixture in Edna. Hildebrand says he's been there close to 40 years. Community Foundation of Southeast Kansas celebrated all the grants they handed out this year. Foundation provides funds for charitable projects in Southeast Kansas. At their annual grant celebration, officials announced they handed out more than $232,000 in grants this year.
It's always incredible to hear the individual stories on what each one of these grants has done to help individuals in our community. When it has a personal touch and that's affecting lives in a very deep manner, it's rewarding to hear that money has gone to a very good cause.
The foundation also plans to match $47,000 in funds on November 30th for Match Day. 6:07.
And on this Veterans Day, we're going to have sunny skies, close to 60 degrees, very seasonable temps coming off of a Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday that were well above average. West wind gusting up to 25 miles per hour, and future track going to feed us a little rain very early Friday morning. Shouldn't interrupt the Friday morning commute. Get ready for cold, or just call it what it is. Those aren't cool, those are cold overnight temperatures from Friday into Saturday.
That's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes. Coming up on the KOAM Morning News, adoption is a wonderful thing and it can help give an animal a new life. We've got the Humane Society highlighting an adoptable dog that could be your new best friend. Stay tuned for that. Plus, children who are homeschooled have different advantages to those who go to public or private schools. That's according to a new study we'll look at. And the cost of living is going up. We'll have the report on how much inflation has gone up due to the pandemic. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. More real news in the morning. We'll be right back. In Consumer Watch this morning, the cost of living is on the rise. Labor Department says consumer prices jumped 6.2% in the past year, the highest inflation rate since 1990. Anthony Pura reports.
A trip to the grocery store is leading to sticker shock for some shoppers, including Dolores Serio. What have you been noticing at the stores?
Sky-high prices.
A new report from the Labor Department shows overall grocery prices jumped more than 5% in the last year. Meat prices are up, with beef roast soaring almost 25% and bacon increasing 20%. Staples like eggs and coffee are also on the rise.
I used to shop based on what I like. Now I shop based on price and what I can afford.
It's not only food, just about everything we buy is more expensive, from clothes to used cars. Gas has skyrocketed, up nearly 50% in the past year.
I believe demand will remain strong, supply will remain constrained, and unfortunately, higher prices will be here probably for the next 6, maybe 9 months.
Supply chain slowdowns and current prices means Americans will be spending more on Thanksgiving dinner this year. Nearly everything it takes to make the typical holiday feast is pricier.
They're definitely up a bit.
Alan Arzoyan, owner of Handy Market in Burbank, California, says that includes the turkey.
This year we've seen a substantial increase in our wholesale pricing. Our fresh birds, Shelton, is up close to 20%.
But Arzoyan says demand for the store's complete turkey dinners is higher this year, and overall business is brisk despite rising prices. Anthony Pura, CBS News, Burbank, California.
Stocks took a hit on Wednesday. The Dow dropped 240 points. The Nasdaq fell 263. S&P 500 lost 38. Shares of Beyond Meat skidded 18% after the bell. Plant-based meat company says U.S. demand is shrinking and sales are not expected to quickly rebound. Beyond Meat executives also blamed the labor shortage and rising prices for its struggles. President Biden says reversing the inflation trend is a top priority during a trip to the Port of Baltimore. President says the infrastructure bill Congress passed last week will help reduce costs and get people back to work. On Tuesday, the Labor Department's Producer Price Index showed that wholesale prices are up 8.6% compared to this time last year, matching September's record annual gain. Consumer price rose last month at the fastest clip since 1990. Arby's has the drinks. The fast food chain, known for its roast beef sandwiches, is introducing 2 limited edition vodkas infused with the flavor of its French fries. That's interesting. Next week, curly and crinkle fry vodkas will be available for $60 a bottle. For those who don't prefer their drinks straight up, Arby's is offering ingredients to make Bloody Marys. I don't know how I feel about that. That's it for Consumer Watch. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. It's been a while since we checked in with our good friend Jasmine Kyle, the Executive Director of the SEK Humane Society. Jasmine, thank you so much for your time this early in the morning. I know you are swamped. I want to start with the fact that things are kind of getting back up and running because your team has to deal with a number of issues because your ultimate goal is find pets homes, but also to keep your animals safe. Kind of give us an idea of the lay of the land and what's going on out there.
Yeah, so just like hospitals, we do not discriminate upon intake. So if somebody's sick when they come in, we do treatment. If somebody has a broken leg, we do surgery and everything that animal needs. So from time to time, we deal with viral infections, just like with humans when they get colds. But as of right now, as of today, November 9th, we are opening back up Canine Adoptions. All the dogs are doing fantastic for the time being. And then for cats, we're going to keep on hold just for a little while so they can get those sniffly noses all up. But everybody is getting treatment, and we are very happy at how things are proceeding forward at our shelter.
So excellent. Now that adoptions are going to get rocking and rolling again, and as we approach the holidays, I know a lot of people each and every year, they think about possibly having a rescue, an adopted pet as a wonderful holiday gift. But before we jump to that, what are some of the things that I need to take into consideration for myself and my family before I decide to pull that trigger and find that new home?
Yeah, so the biggest thing we recommend, we know it's always a wonderful thing to get a dog on Christmas, right? On Christmas, that day, like a puppy in a box. We don't personally recommend that because think of yourself in that dog's position. You've never been to that house before. And all of a sudden on a very high energy day, and who's there on Christmas? It's other people that those animals have never met. It can be very stressful at times. So we always would rather recommend that animals and people, they look into a week to 2 before those holidays, right? That way, individuals can meet said animal. If the parents are wanting to get a dog for kids, a nice meet and greet at the shelter is a good way to know what animals that those kids are leaning towards. And that way the parents can come out privately on their own time and also do meet and greets to make their final decision. And you can also do trips. We can do foster trips to that house to do, you know, a little meet and greet and see how things will go into that household.
It's merely an early Christmas gift.
Exactly. And the parents, don't worry, you can always play it off of, oh, no, we're just babysitting for the time being. And then on Christmas, by the way, they're staying.
Jasmine, that is tremendous advice. So now that we've kind of got our marching orders from you, and we're going to do this correctly and make sure our pet's comfortable, you're doing a first for the SEK Humane Society. I understand you've got what you're calling a virtual adoption going on. Can you kind of explain this to us and how it came to be?
Yeah, so it's a virtual auction event. We have never done this type of fundraiser before, and we kept hearing do an auction. And so we went virtually. This is our first virtual event, large scale wise. It is called Pause for a Cause, and it is going to be next week, November 14th through the 20th. You can find the event with our bidding site on our Facebook page. It's a whole week of bidding. So you have the whole week to monitor what items that you're looking into, and those proceeds will go towards our veterinary bill. So that goes towards medication, surgeries, alterations, everything that we are doing to give these animals the chance at getting better, getting them the help they need, and finding them the homes that they absolutely deserve. We couldn't have done this without so many businesses' help. We have items from Como Jewelry, Rebel Boutique, Dairy Queen, and so many others. We are truly blessed by the community support to help raise funds for these animals.
And so once again, that's going to last from November 14th through the 20th. You can find all the details on the SEK Humane Society Facebook page. And Jasmine, I can't reiterate enough, you talked about how that keeps your animals healthy, because when they leave your shelter, they're immunized. You know, anybody who adopts, you're bringing home an animal that is ready to be a part of your family.
Exactly. All of our animals are already spayed and neutered, they're fully vaccinated, and they're microchipped. And still right to this day, as of November 9th, over 95% of our dogs are sponsored, meaning they have no adoption fee. These dogs
95%?
Yes. They have their bags packed and they are ready to go home.
Once again, Jasmine Kyle, Executive Director of the SEK Humane Society, the online virtual auction running from the 14th to the 20th. Connect with Jasmine and take a look at the pictures. She does a great job of pictures and videos for some future homes on their Facebook page. Jasmine, thank you so much for time this morning. I appreciate it. See you soon.
Sounds good.
Thank you, ma'am. We'll be back with more KOAM Morning News right after this.
Topping Health Watch this morning is homeschooling right for your child and a diet with the nutritional tools to protect your cognitive health. Naomi Ruckham has a look at some of the day's top health stories.
Fruits, vegetables, beans, and even coffee may all help you stay sharp as you get older. That's according to a new study published in the journal Neurology that finds people with a diet rich in anti-inflammatory foods had a lower risk of developing dementia later in life. New research looks at the pros and cons of homeschooling. It shows adolescents who are homeschooled are more likely to be forgiving and to volunteer their time. Those students were also less likely to use marijuana. But researchers found children who did not attend in-person school were less likely to earn a college degree. And when it comes to detecting respiratory infections in children, parents can collect nose swab samples just as good or better than nurses. A new UK study finds parents collected more cells when testing kids, which may suggest children are more tolerant with a parent. That's a look at some of the day's top health stories. Naomi Ruckham, CBS News, New York.
That's a look at some of today's top health stories. You're watching the KOAM Morning News.
Yeah, as we look at our November average high of only 61 degrees, give or take, if you will, do want to point out that really we ran that nice string of 70s right there. Yesterday it topped out around 69 degrees, so it's been abnormally warm. The fact that we're going to only get up to about 59, 60 degrees today Means pretty average temperatures for this time of November as we take a live look over what's been a very quiet 7th and Range line so far. Nice thing is, we're actually going to get a good dose of early morning sunshine, be able to utilize those tower cameras for once, because unlike the past 3 days, we are void of any cloud cover. You will see that average high right there is around 60 degrees. Our monthly precipitation, ½ an inch. Now, 0.43 of that, roughly 4/10 of an inch, came from last night alone. Yeah, we actually walked into last night with just 7/100ths of an inch. So now we sit at ½ an inch, still below where we'd normally be for the month of November, but our annual total just about right on par right there. Not a whole lot of difference from what we'd ever see. And there we are, live look outside of Television City with the glow cloud beginning to illuminate the horizon and what's going to be a gorgeous, albeit a little bit cool, Thursday morning. 45 degrees is where we stand right now. Huge shift in the wind. Got to remember, the warmer temperatures on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, really a large result of, number one, the cloud cover that would trap in any of the heat we had during the day, but number two, the strong southerly breeze that we had at 15 to 20 miles per hour. Now we see it working in from the west-northwest, and what that does, puts a little wind chill in effect, so it only feels like it's 41 right now. Other factor at play, now that our thunderstorm activity has rolled through, working its way far to the east of us, our barometer goes on the rise. Whenever we see that, especially when we get around that 30 mark, that means cloud cover gone, and all we get is a whole dose of sunshine. 45 right now in Monette, 44 in Chanute. Ooh, Iola slipping down there to 39, and Miami at 46. So when we factor in that wind, let's go ahead and do that, because the old body, when you walk outside, probably going to want a jacket, as our wind chills are consistently here in the 30s. We see only Nevada and Stockton hanging on to a 41. A whole bunch of anything from 37 to 39, kind of our dominant number here at 626. Take into effect at where we were at 626 on a Wednesday morning, and we're seeing a 20-degree difference, 20 degrees cooler than what we stood at this point in time yesterday. And so a little stark reminder about how abnormally warm it's been, but a beautiful Skywatch storm tracker, just clean and clear as can be. If you slept through it overnight, and I'm not sure maybe how you did with the impressive thunder, I saw a flash of lightning. I didn't see a whole bunch, got reports of a whole bunch of lightning. But man, that thunder was impressive. And as it rolled through right here, it's now made its way all the way to the Mississippi. And we looked at anywhere from probably about a quarter to just more than an inch of rain as far as our totals go from last night. Now, you factor in, we've been so dry lately, our rivers, they were actually extremely low. Rivers were easily able to absorb this, no problem with the soil, and so we don't have any flooding concerns. We did have several storm reports here. This one out of Labette County, where they had multiple limbs down on roads. We had even hail in Montgomery County, about 9/10 of an inch, and that is a rain report that had 1.5 inches of total rainfall by the time it ended. Look at how this thing's just riding the Mississippi right now. Wraps up right here down at the Texas-Oklahoma state line, and then it hits the Mississippi and just rides this thing all the way up to Minnesota right there, and then it turns into snow, so let's not have to worry about that. Once again, from all of us here at KOAM, a very happy Veterans Day and a huge thank you to those of you who are serving or have served in the past. And while thank you doesn't seem like it's enough, please know that it is sincere and comes from the bottom of our heart. Also, too, if you're ever on KOAMnewsnow.com, take that opportunity to recognize a veteran that you know. We do that each and every newscast. Once again, our 4-State Hero page, just go to KOAMnewsnow.com. Let us know about their service so that we can recognize them. 60 degrees and sunny skies this afternoon for any of you with Veterans Day plans. We'll get a little shot of some lighter rain early Friday morning. Not going to equivocate to anything, and so early shouldn't hamper our morning commute, and then Friday into Saturday below the freezing mark.
Coming up, Freeman enforces a vaccine mandate. We'll have the community's reaction to it. And today is Veterans Day, and one county took to celebrating the day a little early. Also, after a fire that destroyed a local mattress factory in the Edna community, it's finally open again for business.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It is 6:30. I'm Tanya Bach. We'll get to those stories in just a moment, but first let's go to Michael Hayslip in the Skywatch Weather Center.
Tanya, a gorgeous Veterans Day morning, a little bit cooler than what we've had past couple of days, but then again, we've been abnormally warm during our afternoons. We're right where we should be. for a November 11th. There we are with a live look outside of Television City. Transition to 7th and Range Line, where the skies begin to lighten up and illuminate the buildings across the street. 45 degrees right now, a little bit of a wind chill in effect. Feels like it's 41, but tell you what, temperature-wise, we only see 130 on the board right now. We will take it for this time of year. And our thunderstorm activity from overnight / early this morning, now a thing of the past, as it has rolled all the way to the Mississippi River. It gives you, here's an idea. Like I said, if you slip through it, it did linger till the early morning hours, even threw down some hail in Montgomery County in southeast Kansas, knocked down branches in Labette County as well. So be apprised of that. Now that it's getting a little lighter, not so worried about you driving, but still, don't go whipping around a corner. May have some tree branches down on the ground. Let's talk about our Veterans Day afternoon, and once again, a sincere thank you from all of us here at KOAM to those of you serving or who have served our country. Sunny skies, high around 60 degrees. West breeze will gust up to 25 miles per hour. Early Friday morning, early. It shouldn't affect our commute right there. And even if you are out and about early, it's not going to be anything like last night. And just some scattered showers really along and south of I-44 is where we'll see the majority of it. Setting up for a cooler Friday and a cooler weekend, especially from Friday night into Saturday, as we're looking at dipping below the freezing mark.
Well,
that's what I got. That's the latest from the Skywatch Weather Center.
there you go.
Should I start finishing off everything like that?
That's the latest from the Skywatch Weather Center. No. You could try it. Try it the next time. See how it feels.
Got it. Do I pitch to break next time? I do, don't I?
Dylan,
that'll be my hard out to go to break, okay?
Yeah, that works.
Let's do it for fun.
I think that works when you go to break, but when you
Right.
come back to me, it'll just be like, that's not very conversational.
Okay. Yeah, no, it is not. It is not.
All right, moving along. If you are a customer of the Joplin wastewater system, prepare to pay more. The city will raise its rate by 5% starting January 1st. A rate study conducted last year recommended the increase. Joplin Health Department is trying an incentive to get more people vaccinated. The department is using funds from the Missouri Department of Health and Senior Services to offer gift cards to some folks who get a COVID-19 shot. People who get their first dose of a COVID-19 vaccine will receive a $50 Visa gift card. And then when they return for a second dose, they'll receive another $50 gift card. The incentive program kicks off today with a clinic at the health department that runs from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Veterans Day is today, but Newton County decided to honor our nation's heroes early. The county hosted an event at the county courthouse in Neosho. David Osborne served as guest speaker. He's a retired Army National Guard sergeant and current county commissioner.
And just enjoy Veterans Day as it comes up tomorrow. Go out and tell the veteran thank you for his service and what he does. And just enjoy that day and recognize your veterans and your family and in your friends and around the community.
All area veterans and their families were invited to attend the event. Edna Mattress Factory in Edna, Kansas is open again after a fire destroyed the factory back in June. No one was hurt. The nearby retail facility was spared. Company president was miles away when he got the call that the factory was burning.
From about 10 miles, I could see the smoke, and man, my heart just sunk, because I thought, oh my God. But the good news is we saved the south two buildings and able to, reload and get new equipment and start over.
The mattress factory is a longtime fixture in Edna. Hildebrand says he's been there close to 40 years. Freeman Health System announced a vaccine mandate for its employees, citing a ruling from a government agency. KOAM's Chris Warner has more.
The mandate is a result of guidelines from the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, or CMS. In a news release, CMS says the Biden administration is requiring COVID vaccination of eligible staff at healthcare facilities that participate in Medicare and Medicaid programs. Freeman CEO Paula Baker says the health system did not have a mandate in place and had been leaving the decision to get vaccinated to its employees.
Freeman Health System previously had not mandated the vaccine for our employees because our employees were so proactive in taking the initiative to do that themselves. However, CMS has now issued a ruling that says we must mandate it. So that's why we're doing it, and that every employee will need to be vaccinated by January the 4th.
Baker says the ruling will affect healthcare facilities beyond just Freeman.
Since all healthcare facilities are going to be held to the same standard, if an employee wanted to remain in healthcare, they really wouldn't have an option to go other places because that'll be consistent. I think that employees understand that this is a federal ruling, and there is that option for the declination if they meet the criteria for a medical or religious exemption.
Last week, Missouri Senator Josh Hawley joined 38 of his Republican colleagues in formally moving to disapprove and nullify President Biden's vaccine mandate on private employers. In regards to that specific mandate, Senator Hawley called the president's vaccine mandate, quote, unconstitutional, saying that it infringed on the rights of American citizens. Senator Hawley said of the mandate, quote, it unlawfully bypasses established regulatory procedures. Congress, not the president, has the authority to make law. In Joplin, Chris Warner, KOAM News.
In the regulation from CMS, healthcare workers have until December 6th to receive the first dose of a vaccine and until January 4th to be fully vaccinated. That's a look at our top news stories. Coming up this half hour in the KOAM Morning News, Kyle Rittenhouse takes the stand at his own trial. His testimony could affect the outcome. We're going to find out how. Plus, today is the day to celebrate those who have served our country. We want to know what you're doing to celebrate it, and we let you weigh in. But first, it's 6:37.
Well, cool of a morning, 39 to 46 degrees is what we're looking at temperature-wise, but a wonderful Veterans Day afternoon with sunny skies and temperatures close to 60 degrees. We'll be a little blustery coming in from the west. Remember, early morning Friday rain, and then Friday night into Saturday dipping below the freezing mark. That's the latest from the Skywatch Weather Center.
Topping Nation Watch this morning, Kyle Rittenhouse's trial was heated and emotional yesterday. He testified for hours about what happened during the deadly shootings in Wisconsin last year. CBS's Laura Podesta has details.
Kyle Rittenhouse took the stand in his trial Wednesday, 14 months after shooting 3 people, 2 of them fatally, during protests in Kenosha, Wisconsin.
The person that attacked me first threatened to kill me twice.
The 18-year-old sobbed as he described that night in August 2020.
That's right, run.
During cross-examination, the prosecution questioned Rittenhouse's self-defense claims.
You're telling us that you felt like you were about to die, right?
Yes.
But when you point the gun at someone else, that's going to make them feel like they're about to die, right? That's what you wanted him to feel.
No!
The judge berated the prosecution for questioning Rittenhouse's silence up until this point.
Don't get brazen with me.
And is now considering a request by the defense for a mistrial with prejudice. That would allow Rittenhouse to walk free without being charged again.
Close to or over the line on commenting on the defendant's pretrial silence, which is a well-known rule.
CBS News legal analyst Ricky Kleeman says having Rittenhouse testify was a risky decision.
Everything about that burden of proof psychologically goes out the window for the jurors, and the only thing they think about is did they believe the defendant?
Rittenhouse faces up to life in prison if convicted. Laura Podesta, CBS News.
Rittenhouse is charged with 6 criminal accounts, including intentional and reckless homicide and illegal possession of a firearm. The judge told the jury to expect closing arguments early next week. That's a look at today's top national stories. Let's check back in with Michael for our Something to Talk About.
Thank you, Tanya. This morning on the KOAM News Now Facebook page and our morning Insta Poll, with today being Veterans Day, we wanted to introduce you to Mayor Vito Parole. That's because Mr. Parole lives in Tenton Falls, New Jersey, but you should refer to him as the Honorable because he's Mayor Parole. He's 97 years old. He's a World War II veteran, and he just won re-election. This is not something that he just decided to get up and do. He won re-election. Truly a life of service in one form or another. Our question to you this morning, how are you observing Veterans Day? Gave you several options and other right now coming in at 53%. I'm sure that could be parades, ceremonies, And remember, when you're on KOMNewsNow.com, a great opportunity to find our 4 State Heroes homepage and a link. And it's easy enough to fill out. If you have a veteran in your family that you'd like to recognize, we do it each and every show. We're honored to be able to do that. And it's a great way just to tell them thank you every single day of the year. As a matter of fact, let's come back and honor this morning's 4 State Hero right after this.
We take this time on this Veterans Day morning to honor today's 4 State hero, Paul Milburn. Paul was in the 454th Bomb Wing Unit of the Air Force. He served from 1965 to 1968 in France, at Okinawa, and at Columbus Air Force Base in Mississippi. Paul is from Girard, Kansas. We salute you. This morning's 4 State hero, Paul Milburn.
This begins with Colton Wiley. What are you mixing up there, kiddo? Oh, he's got some concoction and he's only 6. Well, I guess he was probably 5 when that picture was taken. But he's hard at work, I know that. Colton, a very happy birthday to you in Yates Center, and I want you to know these birthday wishes come with love from Mommy, Daddy, Aubrey, Grandma Peepaw, and Old Papa.
I love those names. I think he's feeding the calves. He's out there doing morning chores, taking care of business. I like it.
Oh, now I get it. Thank you for that.
Yeah. Feeding some kind of I think he's preparing the feed for some type of livestock.
Get your feed bucket.
I like it. He got his cowboy boots on. He's ready to go. All right, Colton, happy birthday. And happy birthday wishes going out to Elsie Dooley. Look at her in the pretty dress there. 7 strong for Elsie in Carl Junction.
Vivian Thompson, she is celebrating her 8th birthday.
Aww.
Speaking of all dolled up, Vivian, happy birthday in Pittsburgh.
Aw, that makes me wish for spring. Yeah. Cole Richard turning 19 years old this year. Cole celebrating in Arma, Kansas.
I know that leather jacket. That's a little Viking pride on it right there.
I'm thinking that's a senior picture too. All right, I like that pic. That's pretty cool.
Katie Jo Thomas, the KJT, celebrating her 23rd. And how she got to hug a kangaroo, I'm not sure. But it's a cool picture nonetheless. Katie Jo, I want you to have a marvelous day in Columbus. Wallaby, kangaroo.
Cute little Joey there.
I don't know.
Yeah. You wouldn't want to hold an adult kangaroo in your arms. Might get kicked.
We don't want to get on the kangaroo tangent.
Okay, we won't. But what a cool picture. How fun. Hope you have a great birthday, Katie Jo. Ashton Ellsworth celebrating birthday number 25 this year. Ashton is in Iola, Kansas.
Jessica Whitlake celebrating the big 4-0. Jessica, very happy birthday to you. She hits the milestone in Altoona.
All right, looking great there, Jessica. And turning 44 this year, we got one of our great teachers in Baxter Springs, Stephanie Dawes.
Happy birthday, Miss Stephanie. Jamie Rittenhouse turning 45.
What?
Nice catch right there. Jamie celebrating in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, that's a good catch, that's for sure. Mark Johnson celebrating birthday number 58 this year. Mark is celebrating in La Russell, Kansas.
And in Parsons, a happy birthday to Mr. Benny Bird.
All right, up in Fort Scott, we're celebrating with Debbie West. Happy birthday, Debbie.
Mary Hoffman, she is an extended member of the KOAM family because Miss Hoffman happens to be the mother of our senior marketing consultant, one Diane Cunningham. And with a smile like that, I could have told you by looking at her that Mary and Diane were related immediately.
I was thinking the exact same thing.
Yep, that is Diane's smile time and time again. Miss Mary, a very happy 75th birthday to you with all of us from Love here at KOAM.
Not just her smile, her eyes too. I see that look. Happy birthday, Miss Mary. And
who that is?
All right, let's see. We've got a belated birthday wish going out for one of our graphic artists, Zach Dobbs.
Hey, Will. Will is our morning show graphic artist. Will, you should have made Zach build his own birthday graphic. That would have been funny. Happy birthday, Zach. Chloe Harriman is celebrating her 11th birthday. Miss Chloe, have a wonderful day. She is turning 11 in Girard. Teresa Lacey. Now, Teresa, she's celebrating in Miami, and this comes with love from your brother Rusty and the entire family as Teresa celebrates number 65 And Brenda Blecka, a happy birthday in Erie.
Kim Myers and Joplin.
Oh, I know how old Kim is.
Uh,
I don't know why we don't have her age there.
you mean she's not 29 again?
Yeah, Kim's 29.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Sure.
Yeah.
She's 29.
Remember last year at this time?
Yeah, she was only 28.
Right. Yeah. Kim's 29. I knew that.
We know. Happy birthday from your best friend, Crystal. Wink, wink.
And Leanne Creek is celebrating down in Miami, Oklahoma.
Happy birthday and happy anniversary to all on this November 11th. That's where you can submit them to, birthdays at koamtv.com. You can also go to our website, koamnewsnow.com. And on this Veterans Day, a friendly reminder that while you're on our website, that will also take you to the link to submit a 4-state hero. If anybody in your family that you would like to honor, that we do each and every show. Tanya just reading this morning's 4-state hero a little bit ago. It is our honor to be able to do that during each of our news shows. So once again, you can submit your birthdays and your 4-state heroes at koamnewsnow.com. Now, here's Tanya Bach with a very important birthday announcement.
That's right. You can be a part of the KOAM Birthday Club by going to our website and signing up. And once you do, you'll get special deals from local businesses. All you have to do is go to koamnewsnow.com, and it's simple. That's where you sign up for the KOAM Birthday Club today. Here's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. Veterans Day is today, but Newton County decided to honor our nation's heroes early. The county hosted an event at the county courthouse in Neosho. David Osborne served as guest speaker. He's a retired Army National Guard sergeant and current county commissioner. The Edna Mattress Factory in Edna, Kansas is open again after a fire destroyed the factory back in June. No one was hurt and the nearby retail facility was spared. Company president was miles away when he got the call that the factory was burning. Community Foundation of Southeast Kansas celebrates all the grants they handed out this year. Foundation provides funds for charitable projects in Southeast Kansas. At their annual grant celebration, officials announced they handed out more than $232,000 in grants this year. An organization is trying to create more affordable transportation in Southwest Missouri. Healthy Nevada created the Rides to Health and Wealth Project, a volunteer-led transportation network. Officials say the goal of the project is to provide more transportation opportunities in rural areas. That's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door.
In between 40 and 46 degrees on this Veterans Day morning, and as we progress into the afternoon for ceremonies, parades, it'll be absolutely delightful. Sunny skies, around 60 degrees. A little blustery as it whips in from the west. Now, early tomorrow morning, we've got some rain that rolls through. Not the thunderstorm activity we had overnight. We won't have any thunder or lightning with it, and should be done by, say, 8 a.m. Then get ready for cold temperatures Friday night into Saturday as we dip below the freezing mark.
Coming up today at noon, we're making frostings in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
Of course, your morning news continues on KOAM. We have the CBS Morning News coming up next.
Or you can switch on over with us on Fox 14, where your only local morning news continues. And this morning, President Biden travels to Baltimore to tuck his infrastructure bill. We'll have the latest.
Plus, women exposed to certain fumes while serving in Iraq and Afghanistan, it ends up they have a higher chance of breast cancer. We'll break that down that story. Also, too, just to recap breaking news that we had in our first hour of the show, former South African President F.W. Klerk died this morning at the age of 85. The oft-controversial figure, probably best known for releasing Nelson Mandela from prison after Mandela spent nearly 3 decades behind bars. The two would share a Nobel Peace Prize in 1993. That wraps it up for this Veterans Day edition. Once again, for those of you who have served and are still serving in our military, a very sincere and hearty thank you. It seems like the least that we can do on this day, but once again, please know that it comes from the bottom of my hearts. Enjoy your Veterans Day. Tell a veteran thank you. Do me a favor. Be safe. We'll do this all again tomorrow morning.
And we're going to do it again today at noon.
When searching for